I guess we just start like actually at the beginning, like just a set up project kind of walkthrough thingy.
Sure.
I guess let me screen share.
Just for the record, I have not yet set up Dework, but I hope it's straightforward. I know what it should look like.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, let's just have a go at it. Yeah, this is the podcast one. Now that makes me wonder if we should build on this or if this is just really like a...
Oh, on the left side, it's same like in a Discord server. You have like servers, and right now you like wait to the like community podcast working group. But if you do another one, then you still will be able to see like cross collaboration, but like a focus is like different. So
Okay, so make a new organization being the program.
I rolled 20 right now.
Might as well import from Notion actually, but no, I think for now it's okay.
Actually, try it. If it takes like 1 minute, then you only have to do some deleting and not.
Yep. No, not the personal. That one. That one. Could be good. Okay, there's a bunch. It did not make any difference between... Oh, no, those were actually the open ones. Or... Yeah, I think it's correct. But at the same time, I would like it if it also imported the... Maybe it has it somewhere. The tasks which are already completed. But
Maybe if you click on the team tasks or the combined part on the left side.
There we are.
Yeah, well, now one thing we are also running into an issue is how do we archive? Because the done task will only scale and scale up. So when would be that point where you remove something from done? But I guess that's another process stuff. So we can start collecting them. It's another question we at some point have to address.
Well, ideally, I would like to have some kind of... it doesn't have to be a permanent archive, but it would be cool. It doesn't have much practical value, but yeah. So perhaps like...
Yeah, okay, so that could be the GitHub integration, what we could try set up in future, where there, let's say 1 month passes for a done task, or like every some X iterations, people just remove it from done, but kind of kill the final like thoughts and migrate to GitHub.
Yeah, fair.
Can you send the link now? Access.
Yeah, but the Zoom screen thingy is in front of everything, of course. I can.
Let's say you press the connect to Discord. What will that create? Maybe it creates something for them.
Admin. Sure. Should be fine.
Okay, so we need to create. Actually, ambassador program is fine because it will create the threads, not just channels. At some point, we might want to change it.
Yeah, if it becomes annoying, we'll create a Dework channel or like a task update thingy.
Yep, this has been a common practice.
Yeah, I guess during setup it's going to be a lot of messages. If all this.
Yeah, I think guess it's still because when something is created, you kind of want to have it like in front of everybody, and so it's not outside of Dework.
Yeah. Oh, true.
So you can already create that, and then.
Yeah, that's the default setting has that. I mean, I assume no, it's not. Okay.
I think the status parts right now are fine because we are playing around. Community suggestions.
Not too sure what that is.
So that is the page where people can create their own kind of task, but not on a board, but like in a different list where they bring out their issue. And then people can upvote and download them, and then you can use that as a reference to what issues we take to actual working part.
Okay. Sure.
Just because I came from another meeting which were talking about like problem sensing processes for Catalyst Circle, which is like a governance layer for Project Catalyst. And there are some like key things we found issues when people are creating like suggestions, what kind of tasks should be done. And also from like top down as when you creating tasks for others. And one issue what most of the times comes up, it's unclear how is that problem related to, or this task related to the like a main mission. For in this case, it would be like, how is the task related to the SingularityNET mission? So submit description always is an important. So to have a focus and then we also like felt like we are unclear what is the expected state. So yes, the problem comes on the board that we maybe want more information about Mindplexer or whatever, but everybody comes up with the solution. Maybe some documents are done, some like sessions are done, but unclear when is that job finished. So when creating a task, some expectation of what is happening right now and what is the final version.
All right. I'll have to see that in practice to actually see what's up. You appear pretty frozen and dropped. For now, we'll simply have it post this to the same channel. Status board, same.
But basically, I was like capturing like the analysis. We came up what is needed in order to make a task which is understandable and like easy to comprehend and move across the board and actually finish it. And I'm wondering if you want to also already start with that work be done, or have it very open for now and kind of merge into a custom solution. What kind of the custom process?
I'm not really grasping the solution. The solution would be providing context.
Yeah, the solution is basically a guide of like what questions need to be answered in order to put that on the board.
Yeah, okay.
Or move it in a state where actually other people are now coming and taking that as actual job and getting incentivized for it.
Yeah, it would be good to have at least some basic guidelines. Yeah, it's hard to estimate, but I would say if we, at some point, we will run into that, it might be better to prevent that. At the same time, with the current amount of tasks, it might be manageable. I think setting it up properly from the beginning makes the most sense.
Okay. Well, all I can do is drop you a report and perhaps we could create a document, because I haven't created a document where are these like questions, and it's gonna be a small one, so it's like a few sentences just to kind of give the idea of like the initial questions, and I think that would be enough. So for a context, it would look something like in defunding, you also had some rules that you had to fill in. And so it would be same for here, like what makes a task, and then in order to answer these few questions. And why I brought it up is now that if yesterday we talked about that we could already create you had some tasks on the mind already, and maybe we could clean up the current board.
Yep.
And while we are doing new tasks or cleaning up the current board, I was already, if you are interested doing in that analytical way, that I could already ask you the questions, or we could think about the answers for those questions for these tasks.
Yeah, makes sense. And sounds like a solid approach. Definitely. Currently, I don't think we have any Github going on. Could set it up. I'm also, well, you did mention by way of archiving, we could push stuff to GitHub.
Yeah. So basically, the GitHub will, I think if you connect it, it will automatically already kind of like archive it in a sense. But then when you move it from the Dework part, it will still remain in the GitHub part, or in the GitHub. Like, actually, I don't know how it archives it. I assume it's like also with the same way, issues and comments and like deliverables. It records all the input as issues.
Okay. Well, that would require me to set up the GitHub first, to start it.
But I think we got time for that. It's needed when, in done section there is like over 50 already, and you want to share something. Oh, what was recently completed, and then you're shifting through that nonsense, which is like 5 months out. Then it gets annoying.
Yeah, very fair. Yeah, now we get to the actual questions. I would say Yeah, we do have the ambassador role with, I think, currently one member.
Lot of levels. Yeah, I think ambassador. I would say that you would want a role which has access to see everything, and so it's like if you have this, then at least you have the transparency and option to audit.
Yeah, and right now by default it's open to everybody.
Okay. So
and when you make it private, yeah, then you can assign the roles who can view.
Okay.
I'm personally fine with having it open.
Okay.
And then for creating tasks, yeah, it makes sense to have some. Yeah, that needs to have some bar, I guess.
Are ambassadors and then the project manager same thing? Or there are ambassadors who don't really go into the Dework and do their own thing, basically? Or you're the thing related always to the Dework board?
Well, I don't strictly want to push people to needing to use Dework, but at the same time, it might make sense to actually push for that, just to have it all in one place. Yeah. Then they would simply need to create tasks, not being able to manage the project.
Why I'm like asking that is I was thinking like, do we need just an ambassador role or an ambassador role with a Dework access? So somebody who is like more closely trying to kind of coordinate here all that information. But I guess I kind of got your answer and not yet. So it's nice to push them, but they don't have to. But it doesn't always, it's also not a problem that they have access, even if they are not using it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for management, could tie it to just the admin role, I guess. And then once, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, once somebody stands up and feels like, well, I do want to help out coordinating this Dework platform, yeah, that's very welcome, of course. Yeah, so I'm not. I don't really see a reason why to not want that.
Why not both ambassadors then, so that they both can create tasks and move them across the board? So they're like champions of their own thing they're doing.
I assume it looks at some kind of hierarchy that, let's say, I don't need to assign ambassador to people like myself, like I'm already admin plus, I guess. I'm not sure, a manager or whatever. I assume that included.
Maybe you should throw admin in there just in case anybody from SingularityNET wants to hop on and do anything.
Actually, we could try it, because I think yes, if you create the task right now, then you are an admin, because you are an admin access, and it will recognize you.
Yeah, I can try. So there's always this Zoom overlay, which annoys me. I cannot see if there's somewhere hiding a button where I need to actually confirm everything, but it seems good.
Yeah.
No subtask.
No problem. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'll do that after. Seems to have, yeah, that works.
Let me see if I, now we can maybe share it. So we could claim the task.
Oh, sure. Doesn't it push it to Discord now?
Yes.
Expected to have a link here.
Yes, you're right, actually. It did credit. Going into that. When you open the test task, okay, and if you press the discuss button on the left right corner, does it automatically create the board, or it asks you some permissions? To me, it loads a lot right now.
Yeah, it starts a thread in the correct channel.
Okay. Maybe Line or Grandano can test taking the task, because to me it just loads forever. Okay, I can.
Is it working for you now, Tiba?
Yes.
Nice.
Reload. Now I pressed I'm interested. I can go to my open Discord. Then it will lead me to the channel you created. And it automatically invites you also into that channel in Discord. So we can just continue discussion on Discord.
Okay, but yeah. Oh, if it was up to me, it could have happened in the same thread as the previous discussion, but might make sense to keep it separate. Oh, it's a private thread. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's the same discussion. You just opened up and it automatically updated it with my message.
Oh, I think it's separate because this is just the two of us.
Yes, but it's that same task. This is the task channel you just created. The discuss button created that channel, and me telling I'm interested in the Dework created that. Also would have created that channel then, I guess, and would have invited you into this. But since you already had the channel, so it's just updated. Okay, and you're fine. Okay, since you take the application process, this means you have to assign it to me. If you would have chosen that any role can take it, I guess then we'll try that though. I guess then just somebody can start doing it without really like.
I can just assign it. 0 days is not that much, but okay. Approve. And it goes to in progress. Does that then also trigger something on?
Yes, in Discord, then it will tell me that you are assigned it to me, and
Oh yeah, it keeps it in that thread that it created.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, it was fast. You were not kidding about the 0 days. Cool.
Okay, I think you have to refresh because I clicked the button before I pushed the submission.
It does say.
I submitted work too, so yeah. Now it appeared. I think you refreshed. And then you have to approve it. Usually people then share the link or something right now it always was like, I think you collected private emails or like messages. So now it would like go through this. And now in Discord, it also said I submitted, and if you approve, I assume then it goes back to the Discord and say that it has been accepted.
Just this one. Completed. Oh, it's also a good. It's a whole discussion in itself, I guess. The task points and how to deal with those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
How does Swarm normally go about doing task points?
Adding in the descriptions how much data and or Kimball tokens. So we use Kimball tokens as like contribution tokens. We only give them out when people do some kind of work or participate somewhere. It's somewhat like reputation. I don't know, we'll see where it evolves. Like if there is like a finite amount of these Kimballs, and it can also be used as like services or API points. So at some point it's gonna like run out of money to give it for participation, and then see if it's gonna like flow back and if it's gonna get any like circular movements between services and giving.
Guess I cannot change completed tasks. I was wondering, like, for example, on these tasks for translating blog post X to language Y, how to make it so that, let's say, somebody does the initial translation and then there's another step required. It needs to be verified by also a native language speaker, or native, but at least somebody who actually can verify.
Yeah, I think if you open this language tasks you have there, I think you can do that like two-way.
Oh yeah, is it the subtask maybe?
And then you set like reviewers. Oh, yeah, speaking of translations, I got feedback again about the like translation work from Cardano, and I think it's now been 2 weeks since the last discussion was about like when could we outsource it and when we want to keep it internal. So if there is still need for Spanish, I think was one language. Fine. Basically 3 languages which could be like done, and if it's still needed, I could connect them and like invite them to this Discord, and then they will have like their Discord name, and we could assign them as reviewers for that specific. Right. Because we're not doing the Google stuff, we're just doing the pure review by person.
Well, there was also some discussion on the on Discord chat, and yeah, quite some people there were saying like, well, let's focus on the end result, and however you do it. Of course, if you do Google Translate, you still need to afterwards to check if the grammar makes sense, because yeah, sometimes Google just sucks at that.
Mm-hmm. So would be there somebody who creates like he just keeps using Google Translation to create a document that needs to be proof checked, and then we could assign the reviewers based on the language they speak of? Or it should be like just straightforward that one person does the translation. Does he use Google Translate for that, or he just pure writes it down? Doesn't matter. He uses his own way of translating, but the budget is always like same.
Yeah, I think that's the simplest. The last one. But it does make me wonder, like, in that way, you can only make a translation task like this if you know already in advance who will review it. And with the current setup,
yeah,
it's a bit anyone's guess, let's say. I mean, it's still at the start. I think there's been...
Yeah, but then we could still keep it like as an application process. You have it right now. So we don't really have the people who assign it to themselves also have to review it and make sure they are doing it correctly.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I
or
assume
you just want to pick, or we have a rule that always they're going to do a different person. Check it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for quality control, it doesn't make sense to have the same person check his own translation. So I would kind of want, like, it seems not much is happening when I added subtasks.
But this is...
Actually, something happened. Okay. Basically, I want to... I'm wondering what the easiest way of like, let's say somebody claims this task, delivers, and gets approved, like, yes, this is done, this portion of the task. Then somehow, I guess manually for now, there needs to be like a verify this translation kind of task.
So you think like...
that could be automated.
So you think like having one task which is translate this task, and then subtasks are different languages. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I think I misunderstood you. I also had a lag, so.
It's fine, I'll try again. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out how to shape it so that once somebody did this task of translating the operations update to Spanish, I want to make sure, like, what the process is. Like, if somebody completes this and submits a link with the deliverable, if I then make a new task for please verify this translation, or yeah, like this subtask system where I can,
yeah, I think the subtask could help here, but then it means that you have like reassign it to somebody else. Okay, I wonder. Let's try this out. Like, create maybe we can use that same thing. Because you don't have language.
Subtasks to somebody else, that's no problem. Just a bit annoying. Then probably if somebody claims this task, they cannot do the subtask themselves. So it's kind of screws up with the open task list in a way. Because then even though you completed it, the subtask is not completed, so it's not, the full task is not completed. If that's how it works, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think that's why we need to try it out, because I think it might be possible to do like that you don't complete subtasks, but you complete the task. But then in the task description itself, we could have like a sentence that this task moves into review when you have completed your task. And when it's in review, there has to be somebody else who picks it up and completes it. And then it moves to the done. So the one who accepts it, he can only take it to the review stage, not beyond.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's like a bit more clear for everybody that it's like.
Yeah, okay. So then it does need to be very clear for the people interested in translating that they can also check out the review section for the tasks. But yeah, I'm sure we can explain that.
I wonder, should we kind of pair the tasks to make sure there's a reviewer ready for each, so that there isn't a piece of translation waiting to be reviewed for too long? Especially, well, not for everything, but maybe the time critical translations like some piece of news, blog post or something.
That would be quite nice, actually. If you at the start say that in order to accept this task, you need 2 people who assign themselves, and once it does, then you kind of allow them to decide who writes the draft and who reviews the task.
Yeah.
And then you don't have that issue where you said that we need to train people to check and review, because it's...
No, true, but then you depend on potentially strangers having to agree on, okay, you do the task which gets 4 times the rewards, and I do the small verification task which only gets 25% of the rewards. I'm not sure if that's going to be... Yeah. I think it should be, but maybe not ideal.
It's probably only an issue in the early days when we don't have so many people. We just, I guess we just don't want people creating content and then it just gets stuck because there's no one to review it.
We could also, I guess, put the timer that if nobody reviews the task in 2 weeks, we're just gonna move it as accepted. I usually use that standard, like I don't have time to bog down to details and there's nobody to pick it up. I just trust the process of like somebody who did it. Might not have the greatest impact, but usually when you, I don't know. So far it hasn't haunted me, but these decisions.
Okay. Just a quick check. Can somebody find this task and see if they can approve my pretty solid submission? Because it shows up here as a submission, and then
I think I don't see it because I see only the application process. Most likely I have to be, maybe I watched the wrong one.
Maybe I didn't save it.
Okay, I see found the task, but I don't see your submissions. And I think it's because I'm not ambassador.
I can change that. But also it didn't make sense what I was kind of trying to do, because let's say this is a full article translation and you want to put comments on, yeah, you made this sentence like this, but I would put it different. This
is, yes. Then you can reject it, but since if you reject it, then this, I think try it, reject it yourself, and let's see, does it update it in the Discord channel. And then these discussions could be started there. So hopefully you use Google Meet or something where you can comment and
That's really updating.
it looks like the rejection doesn't come through.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the place where you're like, okay, if I don't want it, you reject it. Yeah, it's annoying that it actually don't see rejection. Then yeah, you will have to go to the discuss button and then give like.
Yeah, but ideally, I mean, people, if they put a translation, you wouldn't want it submitted, just copy pasted in there. I would prefer, I don't know, a Google document or something.
Yeah, but I would assume they add the link to that.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe that would be, you would want to ask that, hey, share your link to like Google Doc or I don't know, Microsoft Word, maybe somebody will share, but or provide a link to the document.
Yeah.
Better that.
Yeah, currently in Notion, everybody's submitting Medium links, which in a way is fine, but then the reviewer, or let's say reviewer, needs to still copy paste it into a workable document.
Yeah.
So might as well request.
Yeah, for that case, yeah, maybe just be specific about Google Doc, and so it's free and you can edit, you can comment.
All right. Okay, now we're really zooming in for quite some time on this specific thing. I think technically we can make this work as long as the instructions are clear on how we want. Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle still, I feel, because the subtask, yeah, I'm not super sure if that's the way to go.
How did you use it in Notion? Who verified it, and or you didn't actually think about that there?
Sorry, I'm not following.
So in the Notion, when somebody was, how did they accept the task? Did they just send you a private message and you kind of did it, and how did they review the task? So how in Notion did it got to the?
Basically, there's I made a table, and then people at the bottom, people comment stuff like, "Oh, operation update April to French, done." This one is completed and linked, and then theoretically, users can come on here, put their name here, and in that way claim the verification part. But yeah, this system is also half-baked, let's say. And then I would have people to submit the second link for the same document, but then checked/corrected. And then when it's published, I would note it here. Yeah. This is just very basic.
And then I would also think that this column is a user still as a subtask. So you have the process in front of you when you take the task, that they see that, okay, I create the document, I'll upload it. Then there is somebody who takes the verification. And then there is somebody who creates a new document about this document. And there is another document which shows where it was actually published. And then transaction, I guess. Or just a pull and yes, rewards. I don't know how.
You would put that in here?
Yeah.
In the, okay. So we would need kind of like a translation
template.
Task template, yeah.
Yep. I thought this is the entire thing we're just talking about, that task template.
Yeah, fair.
And yeah, we basically do it for every product task, but at some point we might find that, oh, we can use that template for this task too. At the start, it's always a very tedious. And maybe you want to already create that task about that, create a translation task template, and maybe that's a task.
Yeah, fair. Okay, let's clean this one up a little.
I wonder where we're gonna keep the information about how do you create tasks.
There's a little description here. Well, If we combine
So
it
that,
with Gitbook, that could work.
yeah. That could.
Which also needs lots of setup still. I think it's did get started a little bit. Yeah, it's just the basic.
And in here, you will add on the left side guides how to use Dework, basically.
Yeah.
And then under that, there are task creation templates. And under that, there is a list of templates. And the first template, I guess, is translator template.
Yeah,
Because-
that makes sense.
Yeah. Going back to the translation template and to the very first topic when I brought it up like that, this might create an overhead because translation topics are like that you just seem to need it. But would you see a problem that when you want to create a translation topic, you have to answer why is it translating this document or this article important to the mission of SingularityNET? Good thing is that once you answer it, you can copy paste it to every single translation.
Well, I mean, increasing the reach of the communications we already do would be the main reason.
Okay.
I
So
think.
then we would add that into the we answer quite quickly and fast, so I guess it's not an issue to have these questions in. But another question: why is it the problem? Like this, that wouldn't fit here. I think. Why is it the problem that you are missing Spanish translation? Is there a lot of Spanish speaker people who want to have that information and they cannot read English? Okay, is this?
No, that's not. We don't have data on people complaining like, please provide Spanish content or Russian, Chinese, French. Yeah, would flip the previous answer around. Well, because the reach is smaller, that's a problem. I mean, it's not like an actual big problem which we get confronted with every day because, well, it's not there. So, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to think about them. Yeah. Yeah, I think language barrier-wise, Russian and Chinese would be Japanese. Those would be the biggest. I don't have data on how many people who are native Spanish can also read English.
But that's fine that we are setting up an hypothesis that translating might increase the reach. And the current situation is that you don't have any translations other than the customers themselves using some kind of translation tool. And the expected state is that we just want the customers to see in their own language the information if possible. And the way we measure, okay, how would you measure that translation? Is it some medium article read amount or something else?
Yeah, that makes sense to use. That also immediately makes me wonder if I can get insight on the current blocks, like the read numbers. Like you can see the claps that people give. That's no problem. But story stats.
And I think
you can see it. Okay.
And if it's claps, it's also something we could measure. So I don't know anything about claps, so but to say that people kind of had it, and it's something what people do. Maybe it's something you want to measure also.
Yeah, it's a bit arbitrary because every reader can give between 1 and 50 claps. So that screws up with all the numbers basically. But you can see statistics on every separate Medium post. So yeah, this information is there. So that would then be possible to analyze and see if it makes sense. Like, let's say with the current 5 selected languages, if one of them has like 5% results only, then perhaps we can find another language with bigger reach.
Or have a 6-month break of that activity and the third.
Yeah.
I realized a lot of things about here in creating these working groups and such is that just have to have patience to wait and see how things play out. And it's sometimes creating these environments and like doing a lot of tasks for yourself and others, you might sometimes lose the patience. Everything is moving so fast, and then suddenly you still don't see like a result or something. Like, oh, maybe I'm not doing enough tasks and relevant things, maybe I have to do more, and then you get into like an infinite cycle of doing but not reflecting. I myself have to jump on another call in 2 minutes.
Same.
But I know, if you give, I see that you actually gave me, no, you didn't give me. And
I did.
Okay, you gave me access. Like wondering if I could create these 2 tasks, maybe just 1 task about creating the document of templates, or like basically this questionnaire I asked you basically right now.
Yeah.
And then a separate Miro board where you can't visually see that. So I extract this stuff, which is not related to Ambassador program, out and create like a different board. And then we just have that document somewhere. At one point, we hopefully have a Github for that. And we can either copy text over or actually embed some stuff. And then another task. I could draft an example for these translations, or you could do it, I don't know. Or at least we create a task that we do that. And so we kind of get the practice of everything we talk in these meetings, we turn them into something, and then we can do async work. And when the next meeting starts, we just move these boards along. And what I really see, working in these working groups, is that when they join in the meetings and they take up that Kanban board and just jump into this discussion, they answer it, move it to the board. Okay. And then let's let the weekly in. So
yeah. So I now created a task for this overview of considerations around templating. And you did mention something right after, which also needs doing, which I did not capture.
Drafting the translation template, like the translation task template. Okay, I'm gonna jump.
All right.
Thanks for meeting.
Application. Let's find out if I can actually apply to my own created task. I can. Cool. Yeah, the same goes for me. I do also need to help.
Cool. Thanks for the meeting. Sorry, I wasn't much help. I've never used Dework, but it's cool to see.
Oh, no problem. Anyway, any help is welcome. Just a bit underestimated the amount of time this would take because, well, it's not quite in the state I was hoping it would be, but at the same time, yeah, it only makes sense with figuring out stuff.
Yeah, totally new experience.
All right. Then, well, there's actually 2 more meetings today if you have spare time.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys at those.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining, and talk to you later.
Yeah, have a good day, guys.
Cheers.